Alright, so it's been about 3 weeks since I've made a video, and the biggest reason for that is I got the forbidden illness going around, you know, that one. And so that pretty much knocked me out for even now, kind of. Um, all I can say is take Corona seriously because, my God, at least for me, for a good week, it was like a fever of 103. You try going to sleep, you wake up cold sweats. I mean, it was terrible. You can't move, barely eating. I mean, it seemed like I had to go to the hospital, and where I live, we had like the worst snowstorm, blizzard, whatever that we've had in like, I don't know, last 10 years. So it's just a accumulation of so many things where I was like, oh my God, this sucks. And even now, I'm still having trouble tasting and smell, and my left lung kind of still hurts. So, yeah, it's definitely no joke. But, I mean, since I was off work for a couple of weeks, unpaid, I got to play a few games. I haven't really beaten any of them, but, it's just kind of a catch up on playing some games because I felt like I was just trying to do one at a time, but I was like, a lot of these games are, I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2, God, that game is, it can be 80 hours plus. Rage 2, I think it's about like 15 hours, because I got all the DLC and everything, which the game itself was free on Epic Game Store, so. And this game, I am so out of breath just from this, but this game, I think I got it on sale, winter sale, but I finally started it up. It was like 80 cents. This game, I remember this from years back when it was a huge deal where Steam had taken it off for a brief time because it's supposed to be so violent that it's like rated A, and they're like, this is too much, man. But playing it, I'm like, whatever, a game is a game, and I don't really think we have to go into the whole video games cause real world violence, movies, whatever, that whole situation. Because I think it's been proven time and time again that it's not true, so. But, yeah, this game, Hatred, what is it? How did you even describe this game? Third person edgelord, the video game, I guess. I mean, right from the intro, you literally, the way he talks, the way he dresses. This clearly looks like it was made by some guy who was like edgelord the game, because the whole point is that you see how many people and police officers you can kill before they kill you, and there is a story. I didn't get too far into it, but it's enjoyable. As you see this, like, oh man, you shoot people, they're like crawling away, begging not to get killed, and you'll smash their head or slice their throat. I mean, you do some intense things. So, there are cinematic kills that are, interesting, but controls-wise, since I don't really play this kind of, like, third-person game, like, third-person shooters in this angle, I don't even know what this angle is. I'm going to call it the Diablo angle, because that's the only thing I can think of, like Diablo 3. But I kind of don't like it. I do and I don't. I hate that, like, it still, I'm getting used to it. It's just really weird to me, because I thought it was more like, I think it was like Black Ops 1 had like the twin stick shooter, but this one, it just, I'm not used to it, that's all. But, you know, it's a fun game to play, like, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, and then you're like, okay, the edgelord factor kind of wears off pretty quick. It's fun, you know. It's like how I feel about Grand Theft Auto 5, whatever. Like, you get on and you're like, kill people, haha, have fun, and then you just kind of, you're done with it for the day. But yeah, I mean, they have a mode in it where it's like survival mode. Basically, you can play as like one of 3 or 4 characters, and they got their own little backstory, and it's basically, hey, see how long you can survive. You know, I tried convincing some people to buy this game, but I don't know. They don't seem to be interested. I mean, you really can't beat like 60 cents for a game. I don't really know why. I'm going to assume just because people want to bitch and moan about anything. I just don't understand all the controversy of this game. Like, people were acting like it was the devil. Like, oh my god, if you play this game, you're going to become a sadistic mass shooter. It's like, no, I don't think so. I mean, this game is so, like, unbelievable. Like, oh, okay, this guy has an AK, a shotgun, a pistol on him, and grenades, and is running around a neighborhood just massacring people. Like, come on. That's pretty unrealistic. So, I think people are just wanting to whine about things. But luckily, I played, and it's not in this video because I have it for a video for itself, but the the Outriders demo came out, so I was playing that, and I think I got like an hour of footage. I played more than that, but I only recorded the intro and then, base gameplay. And good God, is there quite a bit to say about that game. But I've been playing that, and, and I know I've always complained about it, but on the Epic Game Store, I've gotten Metro Last Light, which I've beaten, but for free. Alien Isolation, which I've never beaten, but I've played for free. And now Rage 2 for free. I mean, I know I've complained about Epic Game Store in the past, and it was almost hypocritical for me to do it because I had only used it once. But it's honestly not the worst. I think I've had it for not a year, but I've had it for a while now, and I've yet to have any issues. And, the free games and the sales, they're honestly not bad. So, I think a lot of people just kind of want to hate on the Epic Game Store just because it's like the cool thing to do. But I'd say give it a try because, they're up and coming. They're doing their best, obviously. It's kind of annoying when people just ride Steam's dick constantly. Just like, oh, Steam is the best, dude. It's like, well, I mean, they've been around for like over 10 years, so of course they've had time to refine their things. But, there is a reason people go to the Epic Game Store. It's kind of because they take less than Steam does. And so it's like, of course, developers are like, well, the whole I like money, Mr. Krabs thing. It's like more money to your pockets. And so, of course, you're going to go with the company that takes less from you. But overall, I just thought I'd bring that up just real quick because it's honestly not that bad. I mean, do I hate having... How many launchers do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 launchers. Oof, yeah. I don't like that, but it's not really the biggest problem for me because do I hate it? Yes. Do I hate making different passwords? Of course. but I have a like 6 terabyte, 5 terabyte hard drive, so it's really not killing me. Like, I hate sounding like this guy, but I feel like most people who are serious about gaming would have a 5, 6 terabyte SSD hard drive, whatever. So I can't really see the complaint, because I've heard people complaining about, like, well, taking up space, and it's like, I mean, come on, like, if you're gonna drop like $700-800 on a graphics card, you telling me you can't drop $100 on a SSD, or even my hard drive was like $80. It wasn't too expensive. I think I got it on sale. It was like a 5 terabyte hard drive, external. I mean, obviously, I'd prefer an SSD, but I mean, my hard drive is mounted to my computer, so there's no issues. It's fine. I just don't understand why people are complaining about that. But going back to the game, this is like the survival mode. This is like a ex-cop that's like one of the victims of the... I don't even know if he has a name. The main guy you play as, he's got like a burnt face, this cop. And so, yeah, I think it's just, hey, how many waves can you last? Which, I didn't see it, but I thought it would be a neat idea if they had online or co-op. Whereas, like, you and your friends see how long you can survive together. If there is that, that's cool. I just don't remember. My memory's a little fuzzy right now, so if that is a thing, cool. But obviously, it's still a fun game by itself. But yeah, overall, it's like... And I'm going to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 because... I have been playing that, but a couple things, and you know, I think this is just obviously me just talking, but Red Dead Redemption 2 came out like 2 years ago, and that game will not go down in price. I got it on sale for $40 because I've never seen it lower than that, and I know it's a good game. I think it won Game of the Year or something like that. Or I can't remember which one, that or God of War. But I'm like, I'm getting the Grand Theft Auto 5, if you know, the GTA 5 effect. Grand Theft Auto 5's been out since 2012, 2013. And that game is still like $20 to $30. And I get it. It's a fun game, but... It's only popular because the online, they basically just were like, yeah, let's just, you know, I don't even know what that word is. Let's cater. There you go. Let's just cater to the Fortnite kids. I mean, whenever I played GTA 5 online, it was pretty straightforward and simple. Now, I see one quick gameplay clip. There's flying motorcycles, the DeLorean from Back to the Future, laser weapons and shit. I'm like, that's cool and all, but why? What are you doing? You know, it made me think of Saints Row, and so I was like, it just seems like you're kind of copying Saints Row 3 and 4. I was like, cool, I guess. Kind of shitty that they focused zero on the main story, no DLC, nothing, but then, what, 8 years later, they can still keep at new, you know, oh, look what's coming out to GTA 5 Online. It's like, fuck you. You really couldn't make, by now they could have, I mean, this could have been like 3 story expansions. You know, because everyone says, like, we want more. And so, I'm just like, what the hell, dude? I don't get these companies where they're just skimping out on, because it's the same with Red Dead Redemption 2. I was like, okay, I'll finally buy it. And then, you know, I was like, is there no story DLC? Is there nothing? Really? Oh, no, but Red Dead Online. I was like, oh, my God. It's the same thing. You know, because Red Dead Redemption 1, I haven't played it in a while, but Undead Nightmare was like one of the best DLCs I had ever played, because you could literally buy it as its own game because it was that big. I mean, it was basically like an alternate game to Red Dead Redemption that you could play. And damn, was that game fun. I think I found Undead Nightmare more fun than the actual main game. But I'm just tired of these video game companies skimping out and stuff. And overall, like, you know, it's definitely fun for me to play these games, but I'm just kind of getting tired. It's just like more of the same, you know? I don't know why I keep putting off making a video on Death Stranding. I think because I wanted to beat it first, but Death Stranding is as annoying as it can be. It's the first game in a long time where I was like, this genuinely feels like something new. It does not feel like any other game I've played. It's so strange story-wise, but even gameplay-wise, you're like, okay, you know, like I mean, they even say in the game, like, the man that delivers. You're a delivery man caught in this strange sci-fi story. So I need to beat it. It is a good game. I know a lot of people hate it because they're like, all you do is deliver packages. It's like, well, did you actually play more into the game where, you know, where you can actually like get a gun and you have to choose like lethal, non-lethal, because there's consequences to actually killing people. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people really stuck with it and kind of gave it the chance it deserves. I know I need to finish it, but with this, you know, like Hatred, Rage, Red Dead Redemption, they're fun. With Rage 2, I had actually gotten it on sale for like $10 on PS4, but on my OG PS4 it didn't look that good, and B, I don't know why, but whenever I had first played on the PS4, I was just like, this game just feels, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It just felt off to me. And you know, the first Rage, oh man, I love that game. Like, I really need to rebuy it on Xbox 360 because I played the shit out of that game. You know, I was disappointed with the ending of that game where it's like, fight off some mutants. Okay, it's the end. And you never really learn about your character or anything because, in this game, they're like, oh yeah, that guy Nicholas Rain or whatever. I was like, wait, is that the main character from the first one? Because I swear to God, you don't ever really hear your name or anything in the first one. You're just like a nobody. And I will say, you know, because I still feel like for the time it came out, Rage 2 was like, oh my God. And obviously it has similarities to Doom because of id Software, ID, whatever. But I don't know, the first Rage, it was like, because I love Fallout New Vegas. Fallout 3, you know, obviously I love pretty much too. But with Rage, I was like, it just feels like the other part of a Fallout game that I want. And you know, the graphics, I was like, whoa, damn, they're good. And the things you could do, the weapons, I was like, this is a fun game. I love racing. But in this one, you know, when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay. First off, it's very pink and neon and like, you know, not meta, but like, haha, we're a funny, crazy game, wacky. I was like, interesting. Because when you watch the trailer to Rage 1, it's very like, it's bleak, you know, and the sheriff is talking to you, and it's very just serious, and it's like, dude, like, you're the, at least in your arc that you come out from, you're the only guy that's alive. Everyone else is dead. I can't remember how many years your guy was in the arc, but tonally, it's a very serious, bleak game. And then you load up this one, and I gotta say, I love the guns, the powers, I love how everything feels and reacts. The sounds of the bullets shooting. I mean, everything sounds great. But how do I explain? The first one, your protagonist basically didn't say a word, except for if you got hit, he'd be like, "Ah." That's it. And so it was kind of annoying. I hate the whole silent protagonist thing, like Metro. I'm like, come on, dude, you're not gonna say a fucking word. But in this one, your guy talks enough, which doesn't bother me. And I guess this is more of a personal nitpick. It's his voice. I recognize his voice as like many random side character NPCs from Fallout games and like Elder Scrolls. The moment I heard his voice, I was like, oh, it's that guy. It's that one NPC voice that I've heard from games. And so to hear an NPC be the main character, like a guy who's, and no, like, I'm not trying to discredit him or anything, like, make fun of him. It's just, I swear to God, he always plays just like random extras in games. And so now for him to be a main character, I was like, oh man, this just sounds so weird. And his voice kind of sounds forced. He talks like he's an actor. I forgot, what is that movie? There's a movie or something where the guy is like, pretend to act but don't show that you're acting. It's something like that. I think it's from The Rocketeer. But whenever your main character talks, I'm like, dude, you just sound like some guy that like is talking into him. I don't really believe him as the main character. I just don't feel like he's doing a good job. But it goes along with the whole game kind of being goofy. A lot of the game is like wacky, goofy, like haha. I remember when I saw the trailer, I was just like, what? Why is it so neon pink and haha? Because it gives me Far Cry, what is it, New Dawn, I think? It gives me that vibe. I think they came out around the same time, so I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of weird that all these games are incorporating the whole fucking neon pink shit and like wacky music and goofy characters. It's like, okay, well, alright. And character development is also kind of like lacking to me. I had never seen any reviews, but I do remember a lot of people were shitting on this game so hard. I never really knew why. I think they said it was short. I think I've been playing it for like at least a good 5 hours. I still feel like there's a ton of stuff to do. And there's 2 DLC I still need to try, so I might make a video about those DLC. But it's a fun game, gameplay wise. Story wise, I'm like, I guess. But even the first one, the story was kind of like, I mean, it made sense. It's you helping the people against the authority. But then you're kind of doing the same thing again. Because the authority came back, which I remember in the first one, I don't remember you really destroying the authority. I just remember you caused all the arcs to open. This game takes place like 30-something years after the first one. And so I don't know if you'll see the main character from the first game. But they act like the authority's been dead for a while, and they're fully coming back, and there's some guy, cyborg guy, and I was like, I don't think I remember him in the first game, unless maybe he was a guy that was talking, but you never saw him. In the first game, the authority were just like people in high-tech armor, but now when you fight the authority, the drones are like armless skeleton mutant things that shoot lasers out of like their backpack. So I just didn't know if there's something I was missing. I was like, what? And so far, it's really made no references to the first game, besides when you meet Hagar's daughter, which is, it's just a shame that he's not in the game, but she has a picture of the shopkeep guy and stuff, so I was like, oh, hey, that's neat. But, you know, I can't really complain. It was free, so if I had paid $60 for it, yeah, I would have probably been a little pissed off. But gameplay wise, like, it is what I would like to well, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of FPS games, but a FPS game like this, I do not mind, because honestly, it feels like Doom, just a little bit more calmed down, which is fine with me. And I think playing it on PC is honestly better with a mouse and keyboard. I'm not really a mouse and keyboard kind of guy, but on the Epic Store, no matter what I do, I can't seem to use a controller. And I've tried the whole launching Epic Game Store from Steam. It still doesn't work. But, you know, as you can see, there's so many things going on the screen at once. I feel like with a mouse and keyboard, it kind of gives you the edge of more precision and shooting all these enemies and being more quick about things. I mean, it does, just playing it though, it feels so different from the first game, which is not obviously bad. I mean, they clearly improved it in so many good ways, but it just, when I play it, I'm like, this feels more like Doom, not Rage. Which, I guess you could say Rage 1 was almost like Doom 3. But, I don't know. I don't hate the game. You know, I honestly recommend it, because it's fun to play. That's for sure. You know, I've been kind of on like a, what is it? Game withdrawal, I guess you could say. Not really a withdrawal, but it's just hard for me to pick a game where I'm like, wow, I genuinely enjoy this. I want to play it. Like, I find myself going back to Dark Souls 3, Fallout 4, the same games over and over again. It's just like, oh my god, it's so tiresome. I'm just waiting for a game to come out where I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Finally, something new. Been waiting on Dying Light 2, if that fucking game would ever come out. I wish. But enough about Rage 2. Now we're to Red Dead Redemption 2, which, this game, I like it now, but oh my god, the first hour or two was such a fucking drag. I really didn't want, I mean, I get it, okay? You gotta have the intro to a game, but my god, you don't have to have the first 2 hours of the game being basically boring, where you really don't do anything, and you basically feel like you have no idea what you're doing. Doesn't really tell you, like, it tells you, like, you know, your basics, but there's some things where I had to message my friend because he really likes the game. I was like, what the hell do I do? Because this game is not telling me. And it was a good 1 to 3 hours in. I was like, I'm about to put this game down because there's just nothing happening for me. You know, I really loved Red Dead Redemption. I even played Red Dead Revolver when I was a kid. I was just, you know, everyone hyped up this game so much. I mean, insanely. Where I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I've been putting it off. I'm going to finally buy it. And I was like, I am so bored. And it's not even that I have like a short attention span. I was just like, I just don't care for any of this. It's, eh. You would think a game like this would have an intro that's like, bam, bam, bam. Like, okay. Like what I'm showing you right now. Like a train robbery. But once you kind of get through, like, you know, the first couple hours and you finally really understand the game, it lets you do more. You start actually getting money and can do stuff. It's like, okay, thank you, Lord Jesus. Because I finally had enough money to buy the guns that I want, which some guns are still locked, and I'm not sure how you unlock them. But I was able to finally, unlock the Deadeye, where I can actually pick where I wanted to shoot. And then I got the pump action shotgun. I got the Lancaster carbine. I actually was getting good weapons, changed my outfits, upgraded my camp. I was like, man, thank you. I finally am enjoying the game, and I really didn't even enjoy the story till like the end of chapter 1. And then chapter 2, and I'm in 3 right now. I'm like, okay, here we go. Now the story's picking up. I'm fully committed. Although I will say there's I don't know if people really criticized it, but something about this game that I just I kind of hate is it's trying to be too real. And they did a good job making it authentic with like the time period and stuff. But there's just some things, man, where I'm like, did you really have to do it like that? Because depending on the temperature, which I guess can change like daily, you have to change your clothes so you don't overheat or you're not too cold. If you eat too much, you get fat. But if you don't eat enough, you get negative effects because of that too. And it's like, brush your horse, do this for your horse, do that, do this for your character. Oh, when you're hunting, you gotta hit them with the bow correctly in the spot. Or the meat's bad, I mean not the meat, or the pelt, whatever. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but some of this shit, okay, you could have kind of dialed it down a little bit, because I basically have put off the hunting because I was like, I just don't care. I really don't. I don't mind hunting games, but I was like, meh. I mean, I like when you hunt the legendary animals, because then it doesn't matter if you shoot them or whatever you do, because it still just counts as a kill. And something else. I mean, I'm pros and cons. I did, like, one of the NPCs was like, hey, I think there's something going on in the town. Can you go check it out? I said, sure. I go in, and the guys immediately pull out guns and like, oh, we're going to kill you now. So we get in a shootout. I kill them. And then it says I'm in trouble, and like the cops are coming after me. I was like, well, that's stupid. And so I'm being chased and shot at. So of course I kill those people. And then my bounty just keeps going up and up and up. I keep running away. There's no cop in sight. And then randomly it's like, oh, they're right there next to you. I was like, why? What the hell? And they just kept showing up, and so I had to keep killing them. I'm running as fast as I can on my horse. And so my bounty went up to like $300. I pay it off. And then I do a mission, which I think was like the end of chapter 1. And, it's a mission you have to do. It's a story mission. You shoot up Valentine. And then it's like, oh, you can't go back there anymore. I was like, okay, really? I literally just paid off a bounty. And now it's right back to square one. I was like, that's kind of stupid. I don't like the feeling of like, because the story demands it, it's like, oh, you can't go to this town now, or oh, now you have a crazy big bounty in this town. So I was like, okay, that could have been handled maybe a little better. But I will say, the graphics are amazing. The game runs flawlessly on my computer. The sound, man, when I put my headphones on, my God, the sound is incredible. Their faces look real. The voice to like lip sync, like them talking. It's perfectly done. I believe their characters. They feel like real characters. The missions after, end of chapter 1 and beyond, genuinely, I'm like, oh, damn, these are good missions, you know? The dialogue, what you're supposed to do, they did a good job. And as you can see, John Marston is in this game. I guess it would make sense. I think after you beat the game, because spoilers, Arthur dies. I think you actually get to play as John, which, in Red Dead Redemption 1, after John gets killed, I think you play as his son, Jack, which you see Jack in this. But it's just interesting to see John Marston before, he's John that you play as. And then seeing Dutch and Javier and all of them, and knowing what happens to them in the Red Dead Redemption. And, I don't mind the idea of a prequel, but I really wish they would have done a sequel, because I think Red Dead Redemption takes place in like 1914? 1911? And since you play as Jack, it should be Jack. I forgot what the idea said, because I think World War I was like 1910, 1911. I can't remember the date exactly, but I said basically that Jack should, obviously go after the government, because they're the ones that tricked John and killed, massacred John. And so you could have Jack and like World War I veterans who are also like, man, fuck the government. Basically create like a militia or something that goes after the Pinkertons and the government and all that, all the people who wronged them. So I thought that'd be a neat idea. You'd have updated weapons, map. I guess you still wouldn't have cars, but more buildings and stuff. I mean, it might not necessarily be like the Wild West, but I still think it would be a neat idea. But I'm definitely going back to the game. I don't hate it. Like I said, it was just like the first 2 hours where I was like, I'm just so bored. But now, man, yeah, it's a fun game, and understanding everything, it's not too bad. The fishing is pretty fun. It can be kind of boring, but overall, I like the fishing mechanics better than some other games. The hunting, like I said, it can be a little annoying, but it is cool. And whenever you skin an animal, it does not hold back. I mean, he sits there and skins it. It's like, whoa, geez, that's pretty intense. Whenever you shoot people, I will say the NPCs react so believable. I mean, you shoot a guy in the stomach, and he falls down, and he's trying to shoot you, but he's also bleeding out and aching, and you shoot him again, or shoot a guy in the face with a shotgun, blows his head off, or maybe blows his face off. I mean, they did a good job with details in this game. I will say that. Everything, to me, is done pretty well. But, yeah. These were basically the main 3 games, I guess, that I've been playing. I played a little bit of like Yakuza and Star Wars Battlefront, but not enough for me to really include it in the video. I'm gonna try to beat Red Dead 2, and then Rage 2. I guess after that, I don't really know what I want to play. I really wanted to try out Werewolf, Earthblood, The Apocalypse, but I don't feel like paying $30 or $40 for a, indie game. Like, no offense to those people, but I'll wait for it to be like $20 because it looks fun, but it doesn't really look like anything, worthwhile. Outriders is coming out, but after playing that demo, I'm pretty disappointed. So we will see what happens with that. But at the moment, I mean, if anyone can give me recommendations on what to play, I'm all ears. I guess I still need to load up West of the Dead and Darksiders Genesis. But I don't know. You know, Cyberpunk, that thing is gone. Because, I don't know, that's a one and done game, man. All the hype around that game, generic FPS, man. But I guess that's going to be it for me, you know. Just a catch up video. Once again, COVID sucks. You know, wash your hands, wear a mask, whatever. I mean, I guess, or don't. I mean, freedom of choice. But I'm just warning you, at least for me. And I don't have any pre-existing conditions, so it knocked me out. And so I'm just saying, be safe. Besides that, I guess that's going to be it. As always, thanks for watching and keeping up with these videos. I don't know if anyone's going to sit through these 40 minutes, but if you did, thank you so much for sitting through the whole thing. So, my next video is going to be about the Outriders demo, and that actually is like an hour long. Probably won't talk for the whole thing, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.
Guess we should go give him a hand. You'll be sorry. Still alive? Yeah, just about. Yeah, I'll deal with you later.
We got some money, didn't we?
Sure, but now we got coal.